Hey, Randy Daal. Welcome to KDLounge. We're back after a little bit of a pause here on KDLounge, and what a best way to start than with you, someone from Kadena. I'm just going to apologize to the audience. I'm a bit bad I have a cold, so my voice might not be the best. But you're going to do most of the talking, as you said yourself. So we should be fine. So, Randy, can you just start by introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about yourself and your background, and how you get to where you are today?
Yeah, no, for sure. And by the way, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Um, so yeah, I started out as a Java developer. I think that was in my early. It was in somewhere in 2006, where I worked for a large airline company in the Netherlands. But I soon found my passion really in front-end engineering, building complex applications in the client, using the browser's capabilities to its like absolute extent. And you have to think about like animation, JavaScript performance, but also mobile development. I
Hmm.
think I was one of the first in the Netherlands who really was building mobile apps. It was for a large bank, and it was also my first front end gig, so to say. So
Okay.
it was a real fun experience during the time. It was really back in the days with the old Nokia phones, and I think you
Oh,
still had that protocol WAP, um,
wow.
where I had to like develop a banking application um, for like 200 different phones. It's really, I mean, during the time you had the whole browser world, like IE, Firefox, Chrome wasn't even in the picture yet.
Yeah.
But building like apps on mobile phones was like crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
all different sizes, right? For the screen, and then
yeah,
must have been a mess
you
at that
you
point.
had you had different sizes, but you'll also have different operating systems with different
Yeah.
browsers. And they even like all their those operating systems, they had their own browser. So for instance, I can still remember I had like 20 different phones next to me building something, and one phone it just had a white screen. It didn't work. So I was thinking, well, must be a JavaScript error, right? So I was like removing JavaScript, still had like the white screen. And while removing like the HTML and the CSS, I found out like one of the browsers didn't implement the display inline block
Oh,
property,
okay.
and the browser just crashed. And like so, those little quirks they were like so annoying, and getting like a website working on 200 different phones, it was a real
Yeah.
headache. But I'm also a person who has really perseverance. I really stick through it, and but yeah, that's where I really found my passion. And after that, I started building more mobile application, but also larger websites. I even built out one of the started the one of the biggest VOD platforms in the Netherlands.
Mhm.
Even had my own. After that time, I started my own consultancy company,
Okay.
uh, and that was the moment I also switched careers a little bit from being a core developer to also do managing or basically building a company, but
Yeah.
managing people. And that's also where I find a lot of my passion from is talking to people, helping them out.
Cool.
And I grew that company from zero to 25. Then I merged it together. We merged with another company, and we grew from 50 to 120 people. Um, and that was a fun experience for me as well. But I missed the coding a lot
Mm.
because it was purely managing and building the company. Um, so I started out a foundation that organizes fun stuff for front end developers called Frontmania. And I created front end pub quizzes where I educate people in the form of a game, stuff like that, organizing a conference even. Um, so that was all really fun, but it was all focused on front end development. Um, and after that, I think uh, in November or October last year. I had a talk with some of my friends, and he told me about Kadena what it was, and then it caught my interest. I went on Discord, um, and one of the friends introduced me uh, to Will, and Will reached out to me, and then basically the ball got rolling.
Yeah.
Um, and I got really enthusiastic talking to Will and his plans, Kadena's plans. And after that, I talked to other like all the bright people working at Kadena. I saw it like a real nice experience to work with so many smart people,
Yeah.
and to also start learning again. Because I was in a phase of my career where I did the same thing all over again, so it was more like in a repetitive task. I wasn't learning that much anymore, and this gave me the opportunity to a start learning again, b do something I I think is really fun to do, and start coding again. Like the coding part, I really missed.
Yeah.
Um, so talking to Stuart, Anastasia, really will give it got I felt that fire again. Um, so that was the moment I made the choice to start working for Cadena, and
You
well,
are here. You are.
here I
here.
am, so building
Yeah.
out an awesome new developer experience.
Cool, man. No, I can see your passion for teaching and explaining people how to do stuff. I share that. I think that's really cool to have to try to get people to understand what you're doing. So
Yeah,
that you are where you need to be, right?
exactly.
And so now you're at Garena, but throughout your history that you just told us, you didn't mention anything about crypto or crypto related. So, how involved were you with crypto and blockchain in general before joining Kadena and hearing about it?
Yeah. So on the building part, not really. It was more like on the investing part, like buying some altcoins. I did some mining really real back in the days, like at the beginning of when Bitcoin came around, when it was still €1 or so, or $1. A friend of mine, he introduced me and told me, yeah, you can start mining crypto coins, and I had no idea yet, so I started mining them on my laptop. Um, you can still do that in that
Yeah,
time. Um, did some interior mining as well, but yeah, uh, it all I didn't go through with it. It was just a fun gig, so to say. And
yeah,
then I think in 2017 I got a little bit more involved, buying some altcoins and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, that was my um, involvement in crypto until I joined Kadena. So more on the investing part, not really on the
yeah.
development
So
developing
you
part.
didn't really looked into the kind of the core under the hood, right? What was going on with the coins or whatnot? It was
No,
just
no, not really.
speculative kind of gig, as we all
Yeah,
start. I think as we all start.
I,
Yeah,
indeed, it was fun to be involved with some like some new technology.
yeah.
And but during time, I also didn't have the time to really dive into the technology and
Of course,
think
of
about
course.
it. But now I have, and I think it's one of the most awesome inventions
Yeah,
uh,
true.
in the tech world uh,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
of nowadays. So yeah,
Uh, okay,
yeah,
we
I
had some
think
issues, but we're back. So you just told us about your role in Cadena, and
yeah,
what I was following up with that you didn't listen to in the previous one was how is that going on right now?
yeah. So my previous how my role is at Kadena, how it's going basically, and I think it's going pretty well. Um, um, Especially how you see the growth of the team. Like I just explained, my job is not only doing the tooling, but also building the team that's building the tooling. in this
Okay.
whole developer experience. And it's going better than expected, to be honest.
Oh,
Like the growth team is growing really fast. We're now at, I think around 7 or 8 developers.
oh, nice.
And I think at the end of the year, we could be at around 15. And I think that will be the max as well for now, because we first need to build out that whole core, and from that we can maybe grow more, but hopefully get in some community efforts as well. Um, that would be really nice.
Okay. No,
Um,
that seems
uh,
that is going well. The growth, good.
yeah, the growth is growing really well, but also looking at the stuff we're currently building, I'm really happy with the pace the team is, well, learning stuff. We just got a new developer in. I think he started out for a week, and he also already built his first smart contract. I
Oh,
mean,
cool.
that
Uh,
also gives a certain feat of how quick developers are picking up
okay.
and start building uh, on our chain. So I'm very, very happy with that part.
Is this team all local or are they all remote?
They're all remote, so we have
Okay.
a remote team. We're all over the world basically, and that's what makes it fun as well.
Okay.
So we have developers in South Korea, in Europe, in the US, like East Coast, West Coast. And that also, of course, comes with its challenges, but it also gives a lot of advantages.
Mhm.
Basically, we can continue building like the whole whole time zone through, like from 12 to 12. It's
Yeah, no stopping time, right? No stopping time.
we don't stop building at Kadena.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
cool.
really fun to see. Um,
And how was
yeah,
the recruiting process for that? Did you just reach out to people, or did you publish it anywhere?
yeah. Of course, I had a big uh, um, um, uh, community of people around me who already in a JavaScript community. I know a lot of people basically,
Hmm.
and that's from my earlier job.
Okay.
So I just reached out to a lot of bright minds I knew, and just convinced them to start building real cool stuff with me. And that's how we started uh,
Yeah.
building this team. Um, and I honestly can say it's it's kind of an all-star team. Like the team I wanted always to build in my previous job, I can currently build. So I'm very happy with that.
Cool,
Um,
man.
yeah.
Uh, so can you kind of walk us through how Randy Daal Day looks in the life of in your life?
Yeah.
How does it look since you wake up until you go to bed at night?
So yeah, when I wake up, I always check the price of KDA, of course. No, no,
Lately,
not at
you must
all.
have been waking up a little bit sad.
Yes, yeah, no, no, not at all. So no, I'm not really busy. I think that will be that will all be fine. The
Yeah.
time for now is like building. Um, but yeah, how am I currently? I wake up. We have a stand up every twice a week. So we talk to the team, see what the tasks are, how everything is how everybody's progressing, refining new items, talking to the communities as well, what they need. Like last week, I had get real great insights of what people need from Marmalade and stuff like that, so I can
Okay.
update our backlog, what we need, what needs to have higher priority. Discussing that with our business part as well, of course, to see what is needed so we can prioritize and work on the things that is most needed now. I think that's
Okay.
one of the most important things, that we give priority to some items within Kadena. I also do some development still myself, so that's doing that. It can be on all sorts of stuff.
The fun part of the
But
day, right?
the fun part of the day, indeed, yeah. But also talking to our developers when they run into problems, how to fix it. Talk about long-term goals. um, sparring for architectural solutions within Kadena JS, releasing our libraries of Kadena JS, stuff like that. And most of the time, like the beginning of my day, so of course I'm in a different time zone than the US. So the beginning of the day is mostly well getting stuff done, and
Yeah.
the end of the day is mostly meetings.
Okay.
Um, Talking to our developers, leadership. Of course, we have our leadership meetings where we have to plan, have to see how we strategically give priority to certain tasks or not, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's a real diverse job, and that's what I think is so fun.
Cool. I wasn't going to bring this up, but you mentioned, so I'm going to pick it. You mentioned Marmalade, and that you've been questioning what people need and what people want. Can
Yeah.
you just give us a little explanation as why it is only on chain 8 at the moment and what's going on? Is there going to be any more updates to Marmalade, or is it final as it is and now develop it's up to developers to kind of flesh it out?
Yeah, so Marmalade was of course released in like an alpha state, and I think the main problem was people already thought it was done. Like this is Marmalade, go build stuff. But we but we're currently also we will keep on developing. There's a new collection policy coming out real soon as well. EQ, one of our developers, is well, as we speak creating that policy. So we will keep continuing building on Marmalade, keep on fleshing out the good and the bad, so to say. We're also going to bring out tutorials. I think there was an article like came out yesterday where I explained indeed we're going to create some more tutorials on how to build stuff on Marmalade and why you should build stuff on Marmalade
Okay.
and when you don't
Okay.
need to build stuff on Marmalade, of course. Um,
Okay, that's kind of
so
my
yeah,
that's a segue to my next question about your article yesterday with Kadena JS. There it was very welcomed by a lot of devs on the Twitter. I wanted you to kind of walk us through what it is about and why it is so important to Kadena.
I think um, getting that mainstream adoption is like really important. And Kadenias, of course, is not only it's not only it's not one library. It's like it's like a monorepo of several libraries, but also tooling, like a lot of stuff. Um, so I think getting that mainstream adoption is really important, and that's why we are currently focusing on JavaScript, getting the JavaScript developers on board. Um, as now that's one of the easier languages to learn, and that's also, of course, my background, so that helps as well. Uh, and after that's done, we will also maybe look into different languages as well, or maybe the community can help with that
Yeah.
as well. Um, so that's basically what Kadena JS stands for. And it's getting that making it easier for developers to build something on a blockchain.
Okay, so they will be able to write code with JavaScript on Kadena. That's the point.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And I think like the latest feature Albert got out there. And I do have to say everything is still in alpha state. So we're
Yeah.
currently, but we want to release stuff so the community can give us insights of if it's a good feature or not.
Hmm.
So shout out to the community, start using Kadena JS and see if it works, what you need, what stuff you need to build. And if you have some extra features you want to add, create an issue or maybe even a pull request. I mean, that would be even more awesome. She can
Yeah.
help us out building Kadena JS.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
Okay. So That is good that you're trying to bring the kind of the mainstream adoption to Kadena. And yeah, JavaScript is like the most used programming language in the world, so I think that would help a little bit. But for now, what I've noticed, like myself, I started trying to code Pact a little bit,
Yeah,
and I gotta say my learning experience from the start was really tough.
yeah,
It's not that Pact is difficult as a language, but it's not kind of the most common syntax that is used, and the tutorials are very old and they don't work. So this
yeah,
is a real struggle that I have. So my question is, and I was fortunate to have a couple of very good programmers by my side that helped me. Otherwise, I don't think I would have been able to kind of get off the ground. That it's that first little push that you need, setting up the environment, and doing something in Backed. The first thing you need to do in Backed. So my segue question to that is, how are you planning on improving this, and making it easy for someone that has a little bit of development experience, but maybe it's not 20 years of experience, to really start using Pact from the ground zero.
yeah. Like the main thing, I guess, is creating better tooling, IDE support. Well, it's not the main thing, but one of the items we're going to work on. Yesterday I had a good talk with John Wigley, our CDO, um, because one part of creating really good tooling is building an LSP, language server protocol, so we can create code completion, code hinting. So
Mhm.
pack development will become easier when you're building it in an IDE. Um, so that's one of the things where we're currently looking at, but I don't expect it to be done tomorrow. By the way,
Of course, of
these are
course.
all like long-term goals. We're also looking into solutions of building abstraction layers on top of Pact, um, but that's also in the future. So it will be like it would be my dream is, and I don't know if it will be possible, but we're gonna do some research on it. Is wouldn't be awesome to uh, build a React application that compiles
Mhm.
to a smart contract language, stuff like that. Like for instance, how React Native is being
Yeah,
built. It compiles to native code.
yeah, that would be
Uh,
cool.
Stuff like that. So we are all brainstorming, and that's the fun thing about the All Star team we're having. Everybody's coming up with great ideas how to make it easier for developers.
Okay.
Um, I also think uh, uh, the upcoming learning platform will be a real deal breaker.
Ooh.
So we're planning on to build an awesome learning platform, of course, to widen the adoption of Pact, but also Kadena JS. Um, and I think 3 days ago I had a small insight, and it really looks awesome. And I can also give you guys it first,
Okay.
um, which is maybe fun to know. And it, again, this is like long term goals. Because I think around next week we're gonna start building it. We're gonna start building platform within next week or the week after.
Nice.
Um, and like the future, like future planning is to create something like token based learning. Um,
Ooh, nice.
and that's basically what blockchain
Learn to earn.
is made
Learn to
for.
earn.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like the earning part if it's going to be like bring value, so if it's going to bring money. Uh, but building like a token based learning, you can have all kinds of like get all kinds of value out of it.
Cool.
And I knew the community can get quite enthusiastic about this, but how awesome would it also be if you have a backed uh, back tutorial, for instance, uh, and on every step you take, you earn tokens, And in
Yeah.
the end, uh, with those tokens, maybe you can unlock like the new next feature of pack development. But also when you when you have finished the course, uh, you get a certificate, an NFT,
Yeah.
um, that you that you did that course, um, and maybe in the future, people can start hiring people based on this NFT, or
Yeah.
even with maybe zero knowledge, which is will be integrated in Impact as well. That people can tell, yeah, I want to hire you, and you tell them, well, I'm a certified Pack developer, and that's all they need to know.
Yeah.
Uh, so,
That's
st-
amazing.
so stuff like that. That's what we're thinking about when creating this. Um, and it would be even more awesome if like another company comes in and gives out real certificates that people really need to earn, do a test, for instance, and become a certified pack developer.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. So those are like future goals. But for now, like I always say, baby steps. Let's first start out with we give something to the community that they can start learning Pact and get that onboarding, like the stuff you ran into, and
Yeah.
make that a little bit more smoothly, so we get that
Yeah.
adoption of Pact developers
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah. That's just my opinion in terms of, what maybe can be done a little bit faster, just the tutorials to be a little bit refurbished, because I think that's where people go the first, right? Let's go to YouTube, learn
Yeah,
Pact. And if you have like a couple, like, I don't, we don't need to do like 30 videos, but like five, just to get things going. Like setting up the environment is really, there is one now, but maybe I'm just dumb, but I couldn't put it to work as it is now. So if that could be a little bit refurbished, I think it would be the great start. And this learning tool seems like an amazing experience. So I hope you guys are able to push it through and deliver on that, in a near future. So I know it's not near future, but in the as near as possible.
yeah.
So besides this that you're talking about, is there any kind of features that you're anticipating that can come a little bit sooner, or maybe you are you planning on updating the development roadmap so people can see all of this in the website?
Yes, so I think that's a good idea. Even I haven't thought about that yet, but if the community, I mean, of course, I did point out one in my article, a sort of a roadmap, but it would be great to get a visual of that. Maybe that's something
Yeah.
we can work on. I think that's a good idea. Um, um, I think looking into the futures and what features you can expect in like the upcoming years and what can be done real fast. I mean, all we're currently really working really hard on Kadena JS, getting
Yeah.
that tooling up to par. Uh, it would be also nice to have like a project setup, kind of like a create Kadena app,
Mm.
a CLI tooling where from scratch a whole template will be built with your um, um, DevNet up and running, where your accounts will be created, will be filled with coins from the faucet,
Mm.
stuff like that, a whole integrated experience. I just really fun. I just talked to some developers about uh, this idea, but that would be really really awesome to have, like
Yeah.
getting up and started right from the go. For instance, and that the CLI will ask what kind of project you want to create. Do you want to create an NFT project? And so like the smart contract will be downloaded to your project. It will the client Kadena client tooling generates the type completion for your TypeScript app as well. So there's a lot of stuff we want to create. We want to start building on. I think those are really awesome features to have as well. um, but nothing. If you do something right, it will never go fast,
Yeah.
and that's the main thing here. That's always a bit of well, you have to think about it. What goes first? We do want to bring out MVPs and build and take the community onto a journey with us. Um, but I'm all about quality. Um, so I rather have quality than quantity. And
Yeah.
quality takes time. I want to test some stuff properly. We don't want to bring out stuff that's not working. Um, so when we really release it, so not our alpha state, but our really release state, then that should be really great. But now the community can already start helping us out by working on these alpha states. And uh, like you said, can people already start working with it real fast? So yes, we will planning to deliver something every 3 weeks because that's our
Cool.
sprint planning.
Cool.
So hopefully every 3 weeks we can share an item with the community, uh, what we are currently working on and what has been built.
Awesome, man. Great to hear. Great to hear all of these plans
Yeah,
and ideas that you guys are having. And well, I can't wait to see it on paper and starting using them and seeing them come to life. Now, on a broader scope, we've been talking about um, developer kind of user experience and how you're trying to help with that. But on a broader scope, how do you see Kadena competing with the other layer ones? What do you think is going to push us into those top places on the ladder? Are
yeah.
you somehow involved in this process, or do you see it more as a user like us, or and as an investor like us?
I see it as a evolution of the stuff we are building at the moment. Um, and I think I think I said it as well in one of my tweets. We're not playing to win. So I don't see us competing with other blockchains.
Okay.
We are playing to keep on playing. I think in the end, if you build something valuable, listen to the community, uh, um, you just keep on improving your product every year, everywhere. Maybe like even every week. Well, a week is maybe a bit too enthusiastic, but you have to see progress every time. And if you keep on building it, um, listen to the community what they want, integrate that, listen what the builders want to have. I mean, that's also very important, in my opinion. Integrate that, then you will see that uh, in the end, we will be the one who will be left behind because I do believe like the blockchain we're having is really state of the art. It's I think really think it's a gem, um, uh, and that gem has already been polished on the backend side, um, but we only need to make it. Um, um, uh, you want to make it available for the
Yeah.
developers that they can easily build something on this awesome blockchain. And if we do that, um, yeah, for sure, I can see us getting up there with all the other top layer ones for sure.
Okay. 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 Cool. Um, so on this layer one discussion, do you have an opinion on proof of work versus proof of stake? Do you feel one is better than the other, or do you think both are useful and it's both have their place on the ecosystem?
There's always place for everybody in the ecosystem. I don't really want to get into this really, but of course, I have an opinion. I think proof of work is better as a chain. Of course, is proof of work. I
Mhm.
think it's scalability, security, decentralization. I think at the moment there's no other chain out there, in my humble opinion. Um, that that handles it better than our blockchain. Um, so and of course, there's always. I don't think in the end there will be one blockchain that will rule them all. Uh, I think every blockchain will have a certain purpose, it will have a certain business value. Um, uh,
Mhm.
um, so um, as
They
long
can
as
coexist, right? They can coexist as
they can coexist,
yeah.
but I even think it would be great um, uh, if our blockchain can also communicate with other blockchains and stuff like that as well. And that's something I think that will happen like in the way in the future that that blockchains can coexist, talk to each other. Applications will be built on top of one blockchain, but also can communicate with other blockchains. That's
Mhm.
something in the end that hopefully will happen. Um, but we will see. I don't know what the future will bring us.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
sure. We're getting there. We're getting there.
yeah,
And going back to Marmalade and NFTs in Kadena, how do you view the NFTs space in Kadena right now? And what do you think of the future of it? How can people bring value to the ecosystem with NFTs on Kadena and Marmalade? And by the way, I don't know if you've been aware of the Marmalade and butter and all of those weird stuff going on, but if you have any insight into that, feel free to share with us as well.
yeah. I have. I'm not so really. Um, um, I don't know much about the butter stuff. You told me. I know it's a different specification, of course, um, and that's of course also okay. Talk about NFT. I would love to see art, music, etc. Uh, being sold in the form of NFT, where people uh, really can get their value um, out of something. I mean, like there was one I just saw a tweet like 2 days ago about DNA um,
Oh, the ring, right?
selling yeah the ring. I mean, freaking awesome. That's insane, but
Yeah,
that's really nice. It would be really fun if we can maybe also it would be great to get an NFT of the shoes you buy, for instance. Uh, that you have a certain limited edition shoes, for instance, that you know it's really real and not a like a fake one that's been built in some other country or whatsoever. And the authenticity of something you buy, that's where I can really see value in. Um, um, but also maybe, like I just told you, certifications. Um, Basically, like mainstream adoption. That
yeah,
would be great. So there's a lot of stuff I see value in as an NFT, as long as it's just not only selling an image. I
JPEGs.
think, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, there's always market for all kinds of stuff, but it would be nice to see like it would be more than just being used for JPEGs,
Yeah,
because that's just one application of an NFT.
yeah. And bringing now this to the whole ecosystem of Karena, how have you been watching it from the sidelines, so to speak? The ecosystem grow and lots of projects coming in. Now it's slowing down a little bit because it's not Kadena, it's a thing. Everything is kind of slowed down. But
Yeah,
have you been um, impressed, not so impressed with the growth of the ecosystem? How are you expecting it to be at this point?
yeah. I mean, just started working for a crypto company in April, so this is not the first time I feel the bear market, so to say. Uh, but bear markets are made for building. Um, I had a whole discussion with Will about it, and this is exactly our time to build something awesome and get ready for like the bull market. So when the bull market starts, we are ready and people can start building real nice stuff on Kadena. So I see this basically as a as an okay thing to so we can get our team ready, get our tooling ready, get like our whole developer experience ecosystem ready. So when the time is right, people can build awesome stuff real fast, and you see an exponential growth
Yeah.
uh, in adoption. And I think that's in the past when you looked at Kadena, there were stuff being built on Kadena, but it was very hard for projects to build something on the blockchain. If we can improve that and people can build stuff in a couple of months instead of half a year, then
Yeah.
I am really happy. Then I have the feeling I've done my job right.
Cool. Cool.
Um, so yeah, seeing the growth of the Canadian ecosystem, hopefully in a year, it quadruples.
Sure. We'll be here for sure to watch it happen. Uh,
Good to hear.
as a final question to wrap this up,
Yeah,
and since we're just fresh out of a major, downturn in crypto because of some shady stuff going on, um,
yeah,
we have been seeing a lot of bad news hitting crypto, like the Luna collapse, and I think this is kind of a repercussion. It's a domino effect, right? One
yeah,
collapses, some people had money in there, then they collapse, and it goes on and on and on because it's all speculative, right? People lending money that they don't have, and so now we are in a point that FTX, one of the major exchanges, is just capitulating. They're closing the doors. They don't have money, right?
yeah.
Uh, how do you think Kadena? So in having all this in consideration, how healthy is Kadena in this point? Because as I this is my view. I see all of this going on, and I see Kadena hiring people. So I think Kadena is doing it right. How do you feel this is in your opinion that are inside, of course?
Yeah, I think we have really strong leadership in this part. So having Will on board with a lot of, for instance, SEC knowledge, having Stuart as a CEO, he really knows. They really know what they're doing, basically, and also on the eco part with Francesco, I think um, we are one of the companies who basically have the shit in place to be honest, and that's what I really like, and that's what I said in the beginning. Working with smart people helps so much building a great company. Um, so I think Kadena is really healthy in that part, and the fact that we are currently hiring also says how healthy we are
Sure.
and our plans for the future. Um, so yeah, I think for now, I don't want to. Like I said, I don't. There's no winner or losers. I don't see us doing being in a race. Um, so I think that the best thing is just look at Kadena and see if we are in a better place than we are like last year. And looking at our whole ecosystem, I think we're getting there like every step of the way. Like every release we're doing, we're getting better. We're getting better. We're getting better. So we keep on strengthening ourselves. And I don't look at what position we are, because if we keep on strengthening ourselves, our position will reflect in that case in the end. Um, so yeah,
Love to hear the optimism and the that's the message you want to hear from people developing, that we're not looking at the price, we're building, and things will come naturally.
yeah,
Randy, thanks a lot for your time and for joining us. I hope people enjoy your insights, and that we can do this later, once the bull run starts, maybe, and we can have a more happy view on the market, but as good as a view on Kadena as you have today, which I think it's amazing.
yeah,
Thanks a lot. If you want to share any links where people can find you, I don't know if you have, but if you do, we'll just post them on the comments.
yeah.
And I don't know if you have any last message for the community or for anyone else.
Yes. So First, I will indeed share some links and a small explanation how people can help us out as well, help us out with Kadena JS or maybe some other the docs, stuff like that. We're always open to community contributions. I want to thank you, of course, for having me. Um, uh, and last, I think also the community. I think it's awesome. I think Kadena is one of the most awesome communities I see out there so far. Um, and it was just wish this to keep on growing, keep on getting better. So I want to thank him as well for helping us out, even in this bear market, so to say. So I think next year will be an awesome year with
Yeah.
lots of new fun stuff. So bear with us, I would say.
Can't wait, Randy. Thanks again, and to all our fans, thanks a lot, and see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.